Thank you everyone for coming and for inviting me to be here. Thank you for your desire for higher knowledge and for your openness to receiving. Thank you for your eyes that see and your ears that hear. Thank you for your hearts that take note and witness. And thank you for your love, because I feel safe here. And I appreciate that so much. It means a great deal to me. Thank you for your friendship. You are friends, and you are fun. I would like to share one thing about myself that perhaps you may not know. And that is that I used to seek for higher things, but I was in want. I used to be an avid searcher, and was not finding all that which I was searching for a long time. For a long time, and many of those times was feeling alone, lonely, out of fit, like I didn't fit. Even in some ways feeling there must be something wrong with me. Being so different, that surely there must be something wrong. And not feeling really settled into home. Wishing and wanting things to be different. Feeling unsettled. But always a light for hoping. Always hoping. And the hope is what saw me through times that were devastatingly difficult. And what brought me through difficult change and turnings over. And hope is what saw me through to today. Being able to be here. Though I am in want of all there is to learn, I have more than I ever did before. And I feel new. Though I am still different. And sometimes that is pain. Sometimes that is pain. I love what I am. And I love to hold what I have. And though it is not often easy, I feel I have to do it. And so I will. I want to bring you into a corner, a private place. And I want to begin your thought about what it feels to be unlike others, or what it feels to believe you are different. And what what it is to feel you are wrong or to wonder. For the purpose of expression and to come to that recognizing of those feelings. Not a discussion on how we are different. Not a discussion on how we are different. But to realize in the feeling of, I might be different, what that is. And I want to hold it. I want us to see it and face it and hold it. And so I want to ask a simple question. And if you feel to answer out loud, do so. What is wrong with being different? What may be wrong, as we feel, with being different? Is there really a place called different? What exists in that place? How do you quantify different? The notion of different implies there is a sound, stable baseline, a platform, a forever stationary place that is compared with. That is to say, whatever isn't that thing is different. Have we ever been told there is that one stationary, forever thing that we are to match? And so if being different is outside of one imaginary thing, well, then we are all different. We are all different. It is not wrong to stand out. It is not wrong to begin something not done before. It is not wrong to play a different note. It is not wrong to wish for that what is more. It is not wrong to go from place to place, from here to there. It is not advancing to sit indefinitely. It is not well to hold or stay in one place. It is not higher to have not. It is well to hope and to begin and to have. And we are all in want. We are all in want. That is to say, there is so much to have that we don't yet. And so we rise for that. And in the process, as I'm speaking about what it is to be different, in the process of rising for that which we have not, yet we know is, we may appear different. We may appear wrong. We may feel other. yet we are not. That is only a perception. Striving and aiming and trying and having and being and testing and transcending are all phases of one path. And our processes are all distinctive and unique. All of them. They were meant to be. They're meant to be. And so your try and your hope looks and feels different than mine. And it is not an exception. It just all is in the fathom or the unfathom of all the variety that is possible. Everyone, everywhere, every space, every part. And so we are not other, we are not unusual, we are not strange, we are not wrong. We are hoping and having and trying and testing. That is a process of the ages. And I am not alone in that. And we are not alone in that. We are among all who are doing the exact same thing distinctly. And it is all unique. And it is all other from our own. What if there was one way that we all had to travel? One road, one speed, one temperature, one absolute. And we all had to form and match to that. Only one. On what kind of planet would that need to be? What kind of people would that create? What kind of home would that feel? What kind of place? What kind of path would that lead to? The differences or the distinctions are what gives illumination, and learning and understanding, and so expansion. Those who are profoundly unique, we learn the most from them. They stretch us a great deal, and some of that feels very difficult. Those who are the most profoundly unique step upon this planet in powerful ways and leave their mark. We have not forgotten them. We can't. Because what they left made a change for all people. We may be unique in ways that get us into trouble. We may be attacked or disapproved of. But we are not wrong. And when I say we, I mean everybody, everyone, everywhere, at some point, at some moment of their life. The way is not to stay. The promise, the expansion, the travel is in the breaking out. That is the expansion. In the breaking out. The breaking out. That is hard. It always is. To dance can't be done with only one note. Unless it's that song, da, da, da. To dance enterprises many notes, and a song the same. To sing means to have many notes. To dance and do so lightly requires both fast notes and slow notes, and everything in between. To travel requires stepping and resting, walking and resting, running and pausing. All of it. Do not dance the way other people tell you to. There is no motion in the cause of somebody else's want for you. There is only true motion in your own want for you, and what it is you feel inspired by the divine to do. To understand the arc of human ascension or ascendedness, the arc, that is to say, from one space to a new higher space, and that arc there are many tries, there are many attempts at what is new. There are many things that you may test out, try out, like or don't like, but you keep on going. See, that's the arc part. The arc part is that you do this and then you land. It isn't that you try, you don't like, and then you go back. But you continue. You continue. You persist. And so you dance. You do not go back like this. What it is to want is a feeling that there is something missing, something inside that is supposed to be there, and you don't have it. A feeling that kind of gnaws at you, that gently aggravates you. A persistent want, a sense of need, that there is something more that you do not have. That is just. There is a great deal more that you do not have. There is a great deal more that we all do not yet have. And so for that we are in want. And for that we try. And for that we go. The divine would never have us stay in one smallness, in one safety zone. Safety zone. Some people might call that your comfort zone. It's cozy here, and I'm just gonna stay. But when you do that, your joints start to ache. Because feet were made to walk. Okay. The light would not have us begin in small arenas and only ever attempt in small ways. The divine would always have us stretch and experiment and explore and be brave and go where there is need to go and make happen what is to be created, and dance where we have not. Planet Earth is a place of wonder, I've really only seen very little, very, very little of it. But even driving here up to the Bay Area, I drive through miles and stretches of farmland, and much of it appears dry and desolate because it's just brown and dried up. And farms that don't seem to be doing a whole lot. And at first, my first assessment of that stretch is that it's ugly. But then I paused on this trip and I said, no, hold on a minute. Let's look back at the whole entire planet, at the diversity, at the strange uniqueness of many different terrains. And so I stood back and I looked at that beautiful cream color. The long, beautiful stretches of that cream color that's just dried up strands that don't have water. And that beautiful, just flowing strands of that cream color. Well, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Each in its own time and season. And I saw little tiny sprouts that had just barely come up, and then I saw full-grown orchards. And there is growth, and there is seasons and sessions. Seasons and sessions. Little tiny session, and then bigger sessions, and everything in between. Right now, on this planet, we are in a big session, a big one. That feels of change, and it feels of promise, and yet it also feels some of destitute. It does. And that is not wrong. To feel that is not wrong. To size it up and observe that is not wrong. We are in promise to make it through. Remember the ark? On this planet, as a whole, as our entire human family, we are in promise to keep going. That is the promise that we made before we came. That we would make a go and land. Not that we would go a little bit and then slide back all the way and land. Make it through. Sometimes people call this enduring, but that doesn't feel very promising. That feels desperate and not fun at all. Promise. It's just promise. It's promise. To have promise. To act in promise. To make promise. That feels alive and right and good and strong and powerful. It would not be easy, that we knew. It would be work, that we knew. It would be trust that we would have. It would be all right. It would be okay. That we have not remembered. We forget. It will all be okay. It will all be right. Even whatever we saw or felt to be wrong will again become right and be made whole again. Do you believe that is the plan? Do you believe that is the ultimate session? That all things will become new and whole again? Do you believe that? Where you may be in want, Hold out your hand, believe, and receive. Where you see there is lack or without, hold out your hand and offer a prayer. Where you feel you may be wrong, hold, stop, listen, hold out your hand. Prepare to believe you are not wrong. Where you feel there is more than you can bear, change that feels too much, something different that you feel you cannot tolerate, that you are not enough to get through it, hold out your hand and abide. Pray for relief. Ask for a session of rest. Where you are missing home and wanting to return, breathe and hold out your hand. Feel the warmth of the love the Divine sends you. And remember, you never did leave home. You are not away. Home is here now in you. And receive it. If or when you ever doubt the existence of an eternal Father or an eternal plan, do not dismay. Do not fall away from trust. Hold out your hand. Plead for remembrance. Plead to remember and to have, again, home in you. And you will receive. The Divine would have everyone, all of us, remember and know who the Divine is. The Divine would have everyone, all of us, feel of that mighty love. The Divine would have a whole handful of earth people to direct and to charge and to trust and to elevate. And so we begin. We hold out our hand and we enterprise. What would you have me know? And we listen. And we go. And so it is the progress of humanity that makes and moves our world. That is just, and that compels our planet toward higher gates. There is only one thing ever that opens those higher gates. There only ever has been one thing. Only ever one thing. And it is mighty. The one thing that will always and only ever open those gates is trust. And if you have it in your hand, when you open it, you are in the higher trust. And you will watch and you will go. It has never been any different. It is not. It is not. Nor will it ever be any different. Trust trust. Hold that. Hold it mighty. For one is wont to go. And so are you. Hold the trust. And so have you. The divine would will that our planetary position be united and grace for more expansion. The divine would have us as a humanity, as a human history, would have us begin more steps. And thus would change be enacted as a derivative of more steps, higher ones. Not as a template of change, where you look at a block of change and say, oh, how do we solve this cube? No. That's just blowing hot air, and it's a waste. We do not look at the change that is needed and solve that cube. We take more higher steps. And as an automatic result of those higher steps, change becomes. And that is right. Because as they say in sports, you keep your eye on the goal. You keep your eye on the goal. You do not focus your vision on the troubles of man. You do not itemize. You do not itemize the fallings and the failings of humanity, because that is an unsolvable cube. You look always, only ever forward at the grace that man holds and what he was destined to become. And that is you, and that is all people. And in that way do you charge steps. And so thus begins the change that is needed automatically. And thus we go higher. Transcension. You only have to look in one direction. You don't have to look 1,000 different places. You don't. And you don't have to become frustrated or tired or weary in making the motion of transcension. You don't. The steps will come as you need them. The way will be shown you when you ask. We are not waiting. The divine is. It was never meant for us to test and try, to seek and explore, to have and to go alone. We have always had divine help. We are currently now in divine help and will always be. There is a way that is breaking right now on this planet that you don't yet know about. Something is happening in the charge of man, in his energy field. You could say in his heart. Something is, it's like a gravitational pull. He is not aware of it, but it feels wrong. It feels clearly unpleasant. It feels like it's troubling. But it is not. There is a break or a split, a change. It is a foundational shift. It is a vibrational, tonal change. It is a dividing, a separation from what is known, from what knowing we already have. And if you have already felt something different, if you have already come to a place where you feel wrong or unusual or lackluster about what has been or what has been known, have you felt that? Have you felt almost like a drying up or something drying up? Something not failing, but something coming to its conclusion. Have you felt that? Okay, that's that thing. That's that thing. You may have also felt on the other side, a big, it feels even a little burdensome. It's a wide opening, but it feels strange. It's because it's big, and it feels unfamiliar. And it has a gravitational pull that feels in this part of the body heavy and again burdensome. It may even cause you a bit of anxiety because it's massive. It's a massive, the massiveness of it feels strange. That is the opening at hand. That is the entrance to those gateways I was telling you about. It's almost like we hear the sonance. We hear it, and our body, we feel that vibration. So you are in a peculiar place. All of us are. It's the conclusion, teeny little here thing, and then there's this big massive thing, and it's holding the same spot. Here, here, here. We're on the skinny end and we're on the hefty end simultaneously. And we feel like we're being pulled inside out. Do you feel it? Have you felt that? And you just can't make sense of it? You cannot make sense. You can't make sense. It feels like what I'm hearing and what I'm experiencing and what's happening is like topsy-turvy and all around about. And it's not ever landing. Are you there? Are you there? I am there. I am. And so we wonder, because that's what humans do. We wonder. And so there goes the wheels turning, which adds to the vibration. Spinning, 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 spinning. And yet it does not land. It doesn't land. And then time, in the midst of time, that thing that winds our clocks and that flips our calendars and that goes into the day and out of the day and into the next one and out of the next one, month upon month, over. And so it rolls, which gives us the feeling of compression. Do you also feel that? So we have the large open space and the skinny spot. And from here we have compression. And all the while you are going, you are not stopped. You are continuing. And it feels like a tube that rolls you inside out and all around, upside down, forwards, backwards, always and yet no way. and it just can't make sense. It is actually a pivot. It is actually a pivot. A turning, you could call it a turning from one side to the next new side, the next new beginning. And it is just that time, or the measure of it. It's just a measure. That time will be closing, closing. We will be not keeping track anymore, not exacting those measures anymore. We won't be flipping calendars or winding clocks. We will be monitoring into the day and out of the day by 3. Only by 3 things, only by 3. There are 3 parts. There is the dawn, there is the day, there is the night. There is the dawn, there is the day, there is the night. There is the dawn, there is the day, there is the night. Could we keep track of 3 things? Instead of 12 months times 30 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes times 60 seconds times milliseconds times multiplied by decade, century, millennia. We probably won't need calculators anymore. Okay. Calculation has stopped. Pause with me for just a minute. Hold out a palm and a palm above a palm above a palm, like you are cradling an infant. You ever held that, right? Baby here, cradling the infant. It is just to hold that infant and to melt in the grace and the harmony and the love that is that infant. It needs nothing more. It has everything. Everything beautiful, pure, and perfect already. It is God's greatest gift, and we've all witnessed it. That is our time here. It needs no measure. It needs no number. It needs no calculation. It is pure and perfect and whole, just right as it is. We are there now, delicately gracing this earth experience, this earth time. And so we gently look upon its beauty, its wonder, and its magnificence. It doesn't need correction. It doesn't need calculation. It does not. Were we to sit with that beautiful infant, to awaken with that beautiful infant, to see through the daylight with that beautiful infant, and to repose at night with that beautiful infant, oh, perfect would be the day. Great and clear would be the plan, and time would be no more. So now do we. On this axis, on this planet axis. That is the change that is needed. And it is not something that we need to plan. It is not something that we must calculate. And it is not a source of trial or tribulation. It is a decision. And if I will put away my clocks, would you put away yours? If I were to say that I will experiment one day without using my clock, would you give a day and experiment without yours? If I were to begin feeling the nuance and the majesty of that perfect infant, the dawn, the day, the night, the dawn, the day, the night, and only ever simply rise and walk and repose in that way, in its beautiful wholeness. If I were to do that, would I find perfection and eliminate a heap of sorrow in my life, a heap of worry and stress, and trouble and manipulation by the clock and the calendar and the measurements and the calculations? We are to distance from the barriers of our path walk, time being one of them, age being another. That is a conclusion all its own, and the witness of it has brought many sorrow and fear and trouble. We are soon climbing out of that as well. There will not be an age where there is no want. A 5-year-old has want. A 15-year-old has want. A 30-year-old has want. An 80-year-old has want. There will not be an age where there is not want. Thus, we try. Thus, we always expand. Where there is no want, expansion becomes difficult because we like to sit. If each of us could view a future, a version of our planet and its people that is amidst so much peace and higher grace and conductivity, awareness, you could say, awareness. What would that be like? Have you ever thought to see it? Have you ever looked? Have you ever enterprised that possibility? First we divine the will, and then we design it. We must first divine it. We must see, and to see is not just with the eyes, but with every part of you. To see what may be possible on this planet. We have recently had a very troubling corruption in our world, and a terrible, terrible tragedy in Paris. And we are all feeling unnerved and terrified. There is nothing on this planet that cannot heal itself. We must first see and hold that image. We must first be that beautiful that we desire. And then that which we do not want, that which brings sorrow to us, will find a place someplace else, will diminish. The vision has within it so much power, tangible and non-tangible. What the eye sees, what the eye of the Spirit sees, has so much power, tangible and non-tangible. Because non-tangible only means you can't touch it. There is matter there. There is matter. It is, it exists. What you cannot see exists. There is a great thrust that happens when somebody sees something or holds a picture of something that they desire and begin moving toward it. There is so much power. That is sometimes called manifesting. It is creation, and it is inborn. The capacity to create is inborn. God's an embryo. Diviners in school. That's what we are. The force and the might to change what is corrupt on this planet exists in the ability of every one of us to see a more perfect day, to behold and to witness something of beauty, one of perfection, one of light and hope and peace. And in small gatherings like this one, and in private homes, in individual positions, and in large intentions all across the planet, it is being done. It is happening. And so are we conducting, even in this very moment. We may not realize it. We may not even think beyond this enterprise in this moment. But we are conducting. This is conduction. This is conduction. And so goes the grace and the promise and the light from here and here out. It moves. And so it goes. And so it goes, because that's what light does. It can't not expand. And we are filling the space with it right now. To begin each one of us in our individual lives, to begin a promise, our part, a promise that is our part in the larger plan, in the larger action that is to be, because it will take a large action. Begins with one small promise of an individual, like you, like me. One small promise to begin where I am here today. And to no longer worry about being different, to no longer be afraid of being wrong, to want, desire is the fire, to see and to hope for what is better, pure and perfect. When that happens, when that little tiny promise happens, when that small little induction begins, the way and the plan will be handed to you. Literally. We've talked about our palms open. So does the divine have one too. And it will be handed to you, the plan. It will come to you. And the sources, and the openings, and the productions, and every way needed for your promise to be fulfilled, for your promise to be fulfilled. All of what is needed for that will be handed to you, will be given to you. You just merely make the promise. One person. One person has great power. And so I begin again. I return to the beginning. Those who have come before us who made great change were not afraid. Were not so afraid that they could not make change. They saw something that had not yet been, something better. And they made it so. They made it so. And we are all blessed because of it. Where you are now, here I am. Make that promise. I will. And so go you into the next great expansion that is man's expansion on this planet. Begins with one person's promise. I am, so are you, in promise. And we will break from that which brings sorrow. And that will be no more. And time we will not need. We have come here on a day where there is many new beginnings. Go forward and make it so. That is the plan. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.